The Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver says home prices dropped in November versus the previous month. They were down 1%. Meanwhile, newly listed properties, though, did increase. The city and its area saw over 3,000 new listings last month. That was an increase of almost 10% from the month before. Meanwhile, a BC housing cooperative called Propolis is selling community bonds as a way to help finance its first affordable housing development, which is currently in the planning stage. This co-op hopes to be move-in ready by 2026. Let's bring in Lindsay Harris, president of Propolis. Lindsay, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
We're really interested to hear about this because we've heard a lot about government housing, private sector housing. In some ways, you're kind of in the middle, or you're a separate beast. Tell us how this co-op housing project will work. People will move in, they'll pay a bit of money, they'll pay a reasonable rent, but they won't build equity.
That's right. So nonprofit cooperative housing is a great tool to ensure affordability, and it's a really important solution to contribute to solving the housing crisis. So folks, co-op housing is owned and operated democratically by its members. So folks do pay a membership share to become a member of the co-op, and then they move in, and as a resident of that co-op, they contribute to owning and operating the building that they live in.
And I think you're still working out the pricing, but you'll pay between $2,000 and $7,000 to move in, I guess, depending on the size of the home you get.
Right. So, the membership share for cooperative housing, typically averages between $2,000 and $7,000. For us, our membership share right now is set at $2,000.
Oh, I see. And then you do get that money back when you move out.
Yeah, absolutely. Members will receive their membership share back when they move out of the building.
And then what about rent increases? How is that handled? Are they limited, or how does that work?
Members in the co-op will, contribute to setting the monthly housing fee on an annual basis. And so for us, our target at Propolis is when we build our units, we would like to be offering them at an affordable rate, a below market rental price for the people that are living in the building.
And this is going to be, I believe, a 6-story mixed-use development. It will be about 50 affordable units. And then there will be more than 9,000 square feet of commercial space at ground level. It's in Kamloops.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now on the site, there's a commercial building there, and there's an incredible community performing arts center that's there. And so we're hoping to rebuild commercial space for that theater group to move in to. And we also hope to build space for a daycare to be on site.
Now, we will get to the bonds in a second, I hope, but I just find this development so interesting. How much will the capital cost be, including the land acquisition?
Right now we're at the stage of property acquisition, so we're aiming to raise $1.1 million to acquire the property. And we are estimating that the proposed development will be in the neighborhood of about $15 million.
So tell us about these bonds. You've continued with the bee analogy. There's 3 types of bonds that people can buy. The basic one is the worker bee bond, minimum investment $1,000, and then a simple interest rate of 2.5% over 3 years. So they're not high-yielding bonds in that sense.
They're not high-yielding bonds. With our APRA bond at a minimum investment of $10,000, someone can earn up to 3.5% interest. So ranges from 2.5 to 3.5% interest. The benefit of a community bond is that people can invest in a cause that they care about. So they can invest in helping to solve the housing crisis in Kamloops, and at the same time, they can earn a financial return on their investment.
Right. And do you get a tax advantage of any kind with these bonds if you buy them?
Our bond offering is right now not eligible to be held in an RSP or TFSA. So it would be taxed like a regular investment would be.
Right. Propolis is apparently a resin-like material made by bees. What do the bees use it for?
Well, bees use propolis to seal the cracks in their hive. And that's a nature metaphor that our team is incredibly inspired by. We really want to contribute to building a community where nobody falls through the cracks and where everyone has access to the housing they need. So we see our work is really instrumental in accomplishing that.
I mean, I think a lot of people would think this is really interesting that the co-op mode may be a way of supplying housing that we wouldn't otherwise get. What are the obstacles to co-op projects like these?
Well, co-op housing is at its roots a grassroots initiative. It's community members coming together to build housing that they want to contribute to their community. And the development environment across the country right now is it's quite complex. It's very complex to navigate, and it takes a really great team of committed people to navigate it, and it takes really innovative tools like a community bond to help an organization like ours get our start and to help us have a flexible, nimble tool that we can use to raise the capital that we need in the very early stages of the property, like at the stage of property acquisition.
I'm sort of curious, if I move into one of these units, am I expected to help maintain the property?
Usually residents in a co-op will definitely contribute to making it a vibrant, thriving place to live, and so that often includes volunteer work of all types. But it'll depend on who moves into the building and how those members continue to shape the community that they're a part of going forward.